Hi guys, just doing a quick flip through video of this journal that I've been working on. I've been working on it for quite a while because I've been busy at work and I haven't had much chance to come in and work on it. Also, it's the first journal I've ever done of this kind, so I had no ephemera or journaling cards or journaling spots or anything like that kind of to hand. I had to make everything from scratch, so that kind of added to the time as well. But you know, as time goes on, I will have bits and pieces on hand from other projects, or I'll know better what kind of things to make when I go making ephemera and things like that. So I'll be able to build up a stock of those things, and the books shouldn't take as long then. Because I do plan on making more, because I really enjoyed this. Now, the idea for this particular book, I've wanted to make journals for this for like this for quite a while. I have made books in the past, like similar, not similar to this, sorry, just different types of books in the past. Before I ever stumbled across junk journaling and any of that, I was making books. But this particular book, or these particular types of books, I should say, I came across when I stumbled onto the whole crafting world about 2 years ago. And I started off with cards, and then I went to art journaling, and then I started coming across these junk journals and what do they call it? What's the word? Vintage journals and things like that. And I wanted to do one. It's almost like the perfect solution to everything in my head that I like. I like old things, I like pretty things, I like books, I like just stuff, ephemera, bits and pieces. I love all of that stuff. So, and I have a collection of materials, and I have collections of papers, and I have collections of this, and I never knew what to do with them once I was collecting them. I loved them and I wanted to have them, but I never knew what to do with them, and this seems to be the perfect solution to all of that. It's just like an activity made for me, I guess. How bad. So anyway, the idea for this particular one is from a series of books actually that I'm reading at the moment. It's based on a character from those. Now, I don't know, it shouldn't be a problem to mention the book. So they are Robin Hobb, the Assassin's Trilogy, the Farseer Assassin's Trilogy, or the Farseer Trilogy, I think it's actually called. And the name of the character is Lady Patience. She's a lady of the court. She actually was queen in waiting at one point until her king abdicated the throne and then later died. And while she is a court lady, she doesn't care about any of that stuff. She's very eclectic. She likes gardening, and she has bits of twigs in her hair, and she wants to know how to make paper so that all the children in the kingdom can go to school and learn. She's that type of person, so she's interested in everything. There's no rhyme or reason to her interests or to her recording thereof. You could find anything from music to birds to sea life in this. And I'm sorry about all the barking outside. My darling is home and the pups are going nuts. So yeah, so we'll get started. The cover was a scarf at one point, and I just loved the rustic kind of nature of the cloth, and I wanted to kind of use that, and I covered it with a bit of lace. This came off of a dress that I will never wear, that I never wore. It's just too long and too flowy for me. It's a beautiful dress, but it's full lace from top to bottom, so I'm using the lace from it. At least it's not going to waste. These were parts of a necklace, different necklaces, I guess. I wanted to leave these swing freely simply because you can move them out of the way when you're opening the book, because they are quite bulky, but beautiful. Now, as I say, Lady Patience herself wouldn't have interest in jewels and all the court trappings. She's not one of those kind of ladies. But being a lady of the court and being queen in waiting at one point, if she commissions a book to be made for herself, it's going to be made in a beautiful fashion by the artisans who are doing it, simply because of who she is. again, with any gifts and things she gets, they will probably be gilded. They might have little jewels on them. Those who know her best will keep it less frivolous. Those who are trying to gain her favour and don't know her very well will probably go OTT. But this is just a collection of the bits that Patience would have picked up and just put into the book just to have them somewhere. You know, if she found it on the floor, she'd pick it up and just stick it into the book somewhere, kind of a thing. As well as things that she was interested in and things that she was trying to learn about. So anyway, yes, those are the jewels, or the dangles on the edges, and a couple of strings of pearls. These aren't so bulky that I thought they'd get in the way, so they are pinned down. They were quite annoying when they were swinging freely. This is just a brad that I put on after the fact to hold that in place. As you can see, there are 2 eyelets up here. Maybe you can't see that very well, but there are 2 eyelets up there. I strung it from the inside out. I just wanted to try something different with this, and it didn't work out perfectly to my liking, but you know, I'm learning, and I'm okay with that. These are tags and bits of ephemera. They are stuck together and varnished with, it's a varnish that I got in Aldi. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was for paper and things. I'm assuming it's something like a Mod Podge varnish or something like that. Bits of lace and different papers and bling. I made this flower myself out of the same material, and a couple of flowers that I had around the place. This seems very vintage. I have no idea where it came from. It was just in my box of bits and pieces, and the back of it is all rusted, and it seems to be very vintage. So maybe it is, I don't know. But it's very pretty, and I just set this flower into it and put some bling in the middle. So yeah, that's that. It is tied with 3 different pieces. There's some lace, there's some ribbon, and this, I don't actually know what this is or where it came from, but this is strung all the way around the binding, the cover of the book. It goes all the way around to the back, so it's quite sturdy. Now, the front page, I've used lots of different papers in this. These are some Tim Holtz ones, there's some Santoro ones there as well. This is the paperback that I got. I think it's a Ducraft paperback, I think. But there are also some things that I download from the internet from, like Ephemera's Vintage Garden, and I think Astrid's Efforts might be in there as well. Graphics Fairy probably. You know, there's a few different things, and they were all the free downloads. That I didn't buy anything for this. I didn't need to. I had loads, as you can see. I made this extremely fat. Going forward, I'll be putting less pages, because this is just too much. And it took a long time to finish it because there were so many pages in it as well. Now, I love it, don't get me wrong, it is fabulous, and it's the sort of thing that I adore. But it is very fat. It's, you know, there isn't room for much else in there, you know. But there's plenty of room, plenty of journaling and stuff, journaling spots and things like that. So there's the front. I fancy that to be Lady Patience herself. I'm just going to do a quick flip through, guys. I'm not going to go through every single little piece. So I'm just going to do a quick flip and show you all the pieces, and just so you can see, okay? All different pieces. There are lots of tucks and flips and paper ruffling and bits and pieces like that. You know, there's stuff in there, just nothing fancy in there. Just a piece of notepaper. Now, I am aware as well that, you know, in the times where there would have been court ladies and they were looking for how to make papers and all the rest of it, I'm aware that they wouldn't have had things like those envelopes or lined notepaper or printed notepaper. But look, I'm putting it down to artistic, what's the word? Why do I lose my words when I'm making videos? You know what I'm talking about. I'll think of it in a second. Paper ruffles, a tag that I altered. Very pretty. These tags were as part of a swap that I did on Sugar's Candies. and Angie Lovett was my partner, and she swapped me these tags, so thanks Angie. Julep bits. I hope you can see all the detail here, guys. Maybe if I zoom in a small bit, will that be better? That looks slightly better, okay. And we have some extra bits and pieces. I'm hoping to be able to flip this video around once I upload it, but we'll see. It'll be my first upload to YouTube. Oh, scary and exciting. Some stamping as well there. There are little tuck spots that don't have stuff in them yet, and the things that are in here, you know, they can be moved around and they can be put into different places, or there could be notes put in there or whatever, you know. I don't know what this journal is going to end up being or doing, or whether I'm going to keep it or gift it or whatever, but yeah, we'll see. To me, this is just my first junk journal, and I'm not going to be too worried about it, or my first vintage journal. I'm not too worried about where it's going at the moment. I'm happy to keep it just for me. Tags in there. There's lots of little hidden notebooks. Not totally usable, I guess, all of them, but you know, some of them can. Just different papers, just fun papers in there. I also did some punches here on the tops of the papers, and each signature has its own punch, so I thought that was kind of cool. Some tracing paper that I printed on. I got a new printer, a Brother J4120DW is what it is, and it prints beautifully, but not on tracing paper. This was the first print I took out of it, and there's some smearing on it, but any other print that I tried on tracing paper or vellum afterwards just smeared everywhere. So, you know, now I have come across something recently called, what is the Perfect Printing Pouch, and you apparently rub it on vellum and things and it'll print properly on them. So I'm going to give that a go. We'll see. I'll keep you all filled in on that, keep you posted. So little jewels here as well. This is some tracing paper again. Actually, this is one of those failed prints, and I made it into little pouches. There's 3 of these throughout the book, and they're little pouches with some dried lavender in it. So yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. And some trims and these little notelets, they can be pulled off like sticky notes. Lots of paper ruffles and material ruffles as well. I just really like that. And I have to say that, like, my inspiration for this particular journal, not this particular journal, but journals in general, I guess, comes from watching people on YouTube. And the fact that I have a story to go with this journal may seem like a copy of Nick the Booksmith, and I really, really don't want people thinking that, or Nick herself to think that, because making up my own stories for the journals themselves didn't cross my mind. It didn't, and I think it's a wonderful idea, to be honest. But I hit on the idea of using characters out of books that I'm reading, which actually suits me better. But I'm not trying to copy Nick the Booksmith, and I really hope that people don't think that I am. But I did get some of my ideas from Nick the Booksmith. Those paper ruffles are one for one. Other influences would be Dealy Girl. Is it Deli Girl or Dealy Girl? Cheryl is her name anyway. She does fabulous stuff. Obviously EVG, Ephemer's Vintage Garden. There would be a few other people around as well doing this type of stuff that I would watch and like, so those would be the main ones, I guess. So some embossed paper, drawings of horses, sketches of horses, because, you know, that's how patience rolls. Some stenciling there. 2 holes tissue and just something. I altered this. I put little metal embellishments on it and things like that. Button. This also used to be an earring. I just clipped the back off and stuck it on. Little peekaboo tuck. papers, papers. And all of these cards and things can be used as journaling cards on the back. They're all blank on the back for that purpose. And old letter. It cannot be read. Oh, well, maybe it can, but I can't read it. So I think it might be in French as well. Not sure, but it looks good. Oh yeah, forgot to mention this. In the back of this here, you'll see this paper has some pencil drawing on it. These are papers that came from an old sketchbook of mine that I was going to use as painted papers and things, but some of the designs I was practicing for Zentangling on this one, but there are some from my notebooks from college as well, where I was designing jewellery and such things. So some of the designs I thought were strange enough that Patience would collect them, you know, that she might come across them somewhere, or even come up with them herself, because she was a bit, you know, eclectic like that. So I included them. Not many, but there are a couple in them. And I like the idea of using my own art with them as well. Another checky check. Hairpin that I just left as a hairpin and tucked in there because it is so pretty, and I think it goes with the theme very well. This is just an envelope, and I have decorated along the fold here with some charms. There's a lyre and just a seashell and a feather. Lots of material and lacy bits. And on the inside, check this out. There are some bits and pieces, more journaling, and plan for a garden, and just a journaling stick. So put this back on here. And as you can see, there's a peekaboo pocket here on the front as well. I just thought the envelope was very large and very plain, so I wanted to put something there. So why not another little pocket with the tracing papers that I just coffee dyed in the oven. Now this actually does have some washi tape. There are two places in the journal that has washi tape. This is one of them, and it is because I felt the envelope needed some reinforcement. This was the first one that I did, and I actually meant to put it on the other two envelopes like this in the book, and I forgot. So this is the only one that actually has it. It's a dragon journaling card, because there is dragons in the books as well. Spoiler alert. These are some failed not gilding, foiling attempts, but I thought they looked kind of rustic enough and old and dingy enough to belong to this period and to be old, you know. So I put them in there. I think it adds a little something something. There's another paper with just a note paper and a trifold. I love that tree. Oh, it's so pretty. You can see with the shine. I hope you can hear me actually. I know I'm speaking very low at times. Sorry about that. And this is actually a tattoo, you know, metallic tattoos, and I use them in my paper crafting all the time. I have had no problem with them so far, and hopefully that will continue. Some more journaling, corner tuck, bees and busy things. Some more tucks and cards and doilies and cupcake liners. That's the other side of that page. This is actually printed on faintly. Not printed on, stamped on faintly, sorry. No paper ruffling. A lot of blank space, as you can see in the journal. I'm okay with that. I mean, a journal is for journaling after all, isn't it? It's not, I wasn't trying to make a lookbook, so, you know, that's a journaling. Some papers. A lot of kind of what would have been instructional things, and these are a little bit weird as well. They come out of the Voynich manuscript, I think it is. If you look it up, Voynich, I think it's spelled, and apparently it's, I think, is it the only book in the world or one of few books in the world that can't be translated? Nobody knows what it's about. The drawings are fairly fantastical and things like that. Have a look. It's quite interesting, but I thought it worked well for this because we're not in our world. I mean, there's dragons and such things in here, so, you know, maybe the Vinish manuscript comes from this world. I don't know. Do you? So I love being able to include that in there, those kind of weird and strange, odd little details. Some more stamping. There's a different punch there. There's a kind of an owl punch. On the second signature, some more peekaboo pocket with ribbon and I almost colour that. Some note paper that I've stamped on quite faintly. I do like this paper. It just comes out of a notebook that a friend of mine bought me. It had it had a cover made with, I think it was banana leaves and things like that. But this was the paper in it, and I love it. I love how it is so light and flimsy, and I love how it takes tea and coffee stains as well. So that's that. You can actually see on some of these coffee and tea stain papers, well, I use salt on some of them, and I love how it gives a different texture to it. And this is just an openable envelope, just, you know, it can be journaled on inside or something put in there, up to whoever ends up using it. That's a funny thing, I love making these books, but I don't use them. I don't use them for anything. So, yeah, it's a bit strange. Next one. A little ephemera. No idea what that's about, but I'm sure Patience would have. Another one of those failed gilding, or failed foiling attempts, but I think it looks really good there. This was actually originally supposed to be for the front cover, but I ended up not liking it on the front cover, so I made it into a pocket. They were all already glued together, so I just left it like that and used it in here, and I quite like it. You know, another one of those altered cards from Angie. Thanks, Angie. She sent me the tags. I actually altered them myself, just, you know, the interest of being clear. I love this. This is one of my favourite things in the whole thing. I don't know why, I just adore it. It's just a little flip out, stamp of a hearty, and you fold out that you can write on. Little brad. I do love those brads. They are Centauro, and I've had them for a long, long time, and I've been hoarding them because I love them. But yeah, I should use them really. There's a couple of bits in there, I'm not going to open it. This is actually a double tuck. You can see here, there's another room for tucking there. Same with this side, 2 tucks. Belly band, double belly band ring, jewels. And this is, oh yeah, sorry, this is the second signature. I thought I was showing the second signature. I'm going to go with the punch. The oil punch is actually in the first signature. This is like a seashell or a fen punch. That's for the second one. Auto tag again. This was actually a cupcake decorator to be put on the outside of the cupcakes after the liners. You know, you put on the liner and then you put this on the outside to decorate it. And I just cut it up and made it into pockets and things like that. And it is so pretty. And I've actually taken off some of the butterflies singly as well and used them. So pretty. And I got a packet of 10 for like $1.50 or something like that. Ridiculously cheap. Chuck spot that I find very annoying, but I think that needs to be there, so I want to keep it there. Again, I like this. I put little metallic embellishments on the paper all the way down. It's got one of those little notey nooks. And on the inside it's got a little peekaboo pocket. Got it. With some doily stained papers as well. Another one of those envelopes. And this is an experiment that I did a long time ago when I first started crafting. I wrapped some rubber bands around a toilet roll and rolled it in Versamark and then embossed it. And it looks amazing. I love it. I'll just do it again because I'm running out of this one. Oh, and with distressings in the background as well. I was only just after getting those, my first set of those as well. Ah, the memories, the nostalgia of it all. More papers and things like that. Love this. Looks so cool. All aged and done by me. Excuse the noise out there, people. It's just the household going as it should. Some lace, chuck, some more trims, and what have you. More writing papers, and a lacy type pocket. This is actually supposed to be like a vinyl tablecloth, and I just saw the patterning on it, and I immediately bought a metre of it, so I have absolutely loads of it for doing things like this. Now the material, yes, obviously they would have had that material, yada yada yada, but artistic license, that's the word I was looking for. Artistic license, I'm claiming it. Some more brads, that's a Tim Holtz brad. Another hairpin. I find these little hairpins in like dollar stores. You'd call them dollar stores too. I call it a €2 shop or a discount shop, but they'd be like your dollar stores, for those of you who are in America. And I find them in packs of 2 usually, maybe packs of 1 sometimes, but they're about €1, €1.50. €2 is the most I've ever paid for them, really, I think. And they're just stunning, and you know, they work perfectly. I love them. I love them. I hated using this one, but you know, what's the point in having it if I don't use it somewhere, you know? So, and it's perfect in here. I love it. Some more little charms on this envelope. We have an acorn, a whale, a horseshoe, and some, I think they're lilies. I'm not 100% sure. They're very pretty, but they're there. Again, it's that envelope with some stuff inside, another pin, and another tricky spot. And at the inside of these envelopes as well, I line them myself. I open them out and line them. They're coffee dyed or tea dyed. Open them out and line them with some paper that I had messed around with jelly printing on, and I was using metallic paints at the time, and I was checking out some homemade stamps that I had done to see if they would work for the jelly plate, and this was the result. And I adore the gold paint against this blue background, and I had enough to line all 3 envelopes, luckily. Not fully lined, they're kind of lined halfway, I think, but yeah, fantastic use for that paper. I was so happy when I happened on the idea. There's that. A little bit of lace flower, some more trim, more bling, and another one of those envelopes. And the papers in here are all different papers, from different, like there's some copy paper, there's some papers from sketchbooks and things like that would have had a rougher, you know, children's cheap sketchbooks, they would have had a rougher texture and things to them. So I tried to mix it up a little bit. A double tuck here. It's a stamping that I did with a shell. I love these little cards. I can't remember exactly, I think they might be EVG, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Some more of that extra little bits of that paper that I had left over. And button. Some stamping. I also used some gold paint just to give some gold tinting to some of the papers and the cards and things like that. I ran out of gold foil halfway, not even halfway through, about a third of the way through I ran out of gold foil. And I bought what's the word? A laminator for this purpose, for foiling and things. And yeah, I ran out of foil. Well done me. So very quickly, flip. This video is getting way too long, so I'm just going to give you a very quick flip just to see. Here's one of those bags, little tuck there. And this is pretty much all the same thing in the third signature. As I said, it's a huge book, it really is. It was unnecessary really to have it this big, but you know, I'm learning. I will learn for the next one. More of my drawings. Tim Holtz paper, which I love. Fold out. I love this as well. Another pin that I love. There's one of those envelopes. Oh yeah, and there's another charm on there. There's a little seahorse. That's actually an earring, which this is something exactly like what Patience would do. She'd stick an earring on here. More papers in there. Another tuck. Some stamping. See that? Excuse me. There's a tuck. There's a journaling card. More ruffling. Papers and notebooks and things like that. The last signature may seem a little bit sparse, and it probably is because I couldn't fit too much more into it. I was trying to take things out at that point, you know. Notebook. Did a lot of sewing in this as well at the start. So yeah, I like it. I like how it looks, and I like doing it. So it's all good. Double tuck here, and got pockets in here as well. All sewn. This is actually a tuck that I put in at the end that I didn't know I was going to be putting in, so I have nothing in there. I'd probably put something in there. And another one of those envelopes that opens out, and back to back, and that's it. So that's the end of it. There are some little book corners as well. I forgot to mention tiny little silver ones. And that is it. I hope you like it. Give it a thumbs up if you do, and let me know in the comments what you thought. Thanks guys. Bye.